Sadhu Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakamatamsha Namo Shumpadaya Krishna Pesha Bhutre Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namne Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pacharne Nirvishesha Shunvadi Pasajistane Vancha Kalpadruvesha Kripa Sindhu Evsa Patitana Pavani Bhuveshna Bono Nama Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurtase Nama हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपसा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वैष्णवानुसुते देवी पन्मामि हरि प्रिय नीलाचल निवासाय नित्य परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्रा भ्राम जगन्नाथाय च नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे Okay, so Kalanpur, we had until verse number 9 or verse number 10?
Prabhu, verse number 9 we started. Almost, I think we're in between. You said something, if we start, it will take time. I'll cover next week, you said. I think next 9th almost completed, Prabhu.
So almost completed. Okay.
Yeah.
So just a minute, what I'll do. Maybe. Okay. Maybe I saw the notes and then I said.
Yes.
So let us go to the notes. So mantra number 9, did we cover other acharyas commentaries also?
I think, Prabhu, yes. As per my knowledge, yes, we covered.
Okay. So then we start with mantra number 10 today.
Yes.
So we'll cover 10 to 14 today. These 5 verses. So let's begin with mantra number 10. You can repeat after me. Anyat evahur vidyaya.
Anyat evahur vidyaya.
Anyat ahur avidyaya.
Anyat ahur avidyaya.
Iti susrumadhiranam.
Iti susrumadhiranam.
Yenastat vichachakshire.
Yenastat vichachakshire.
Please read. Translation.
Hare Krishna. The wise have explained that one result is derived from the culture of knowledge and that a different result is obtained from the culture of nescience. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So, Vidya and Avidya don't have same result. They have different results. Like nowadays, people don't understand the difference between knowledge and ignorance. Science and science. So as far Prabhupada's definition is concerned, according to Prabhupada, knowledge which connects to you to Krishna is called Vidya, and which takes you away from Krishna is called Avidya. That is simple definition which Prabhupada had given, which we saw in mantra number 9 also. Now mantra number 10. So in mantra number 10, Prabhupada has quoted from 13.8 to 12, 18 atoms of knowledge. So you'll find that that is there in the purports. And because Prabhupada had already covered it, we had already covered it in our Bhakti Sastri. So I'll not be covering them. What you can do, you can read another points, and then I'll explain all of them together.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Sorry, I was speaking in the mute. In modern society, students think themselves self-sufficient and don't respect their elders. Students are not given instructions to practice brahmacharya. 50% of nation's energy is spoiled in defense measures. One should do submissive hearing from a dhira, one who isn't disturbed by material illusion, in order to become dhira himself. Hare Krishna.
These are like main highlight of the points. Like one of the points which Prabhupada emphasizes is that knowledge has relationship with qualities. So if you see these 18 items of knowledge, all of them are connected with some qualities. So ultimately, knowledge is meant to transform the character of a person. But the current situation is, after people become educated, rather than becoming humble, they become proud. Vidya dadati vinyam. It's like a tree which is more laden with the fruits bends more. But nowadays we find people, when they go for studies, they think they are more advanced than their parents also. So they lose their respect for the parents. So that means they didn't get Vidya, they get what they got is avidya. That is the proof. Similarly, during that, especially during the time of study, when a person is studying scriptures, one stays in an ashram, brahmacharya ashram. Or girls, they follow chastity while staying in the home under the protection of the parents. So that is why you will see even degrees, even in English, they are, what is the full form of BA?
Bachelor of Arts.
So bachelor is there. What is meaning of BTech?
Bachelor of Electronics.
Bachelor of Technology.
Technology, sorry. BE means electronic.
So in this way, bachelor is the like the first word. That means one has to follow the principle of brahmacharya while one studies. But we will see that it happens other way around. As soon as people enter in the colleges, what happens? They start, somebody has experience? People are more pure before coming to college or after coming to college? After passing out from college? Now, all of you have studied from colleges, passed out from college, you can tell your experiences.
Before coming to college.
Yeah. What happens after coming to college, passing out from college, or entering in college?
First thing, we feel like a lot of freedom. The second thing is there are a lot of exploiting things around.
Yeah. And what about four relative principles? What happens with four relative principles?
We won't care, we won't fear them.
Yeah. So that is exactly what happens. So people pretty pure before coming to college, and after entering in college, they become spoiled by the culture, college culture.
And now the trend is that college itself starting some kind of freshers party and farewell party. There was a theme was something different. Now in that party only they are exploiting all students.
Yeah, exploiting means basically they are training them to break four principles.
Exactly.
So that is how so that is not like called a vidya, it is called avidya. And the result is that at least 50% of the nation's budget goes in defense. That is at least. In some countries, it is 70%. That means all the taxes collected from the people all over the country, the 50 to 70% of that money goes in just defense. And the whole reason is because when people are not getting educated properly, they are not getting a vidya, then they start harming each other. And when you start harming each other, you become envious of each other. Then so much money is spent in just defense. It's like nothing so productive, but it is needed for survival. What to do? Like many times when we talk about Prabhupada's model of having a cow, a land, a hut in the house, and that is self-sustaining, that can sustain provided Brahmanas keep on preaching. Then there is not much needed for defense. Otherwise, you are technologically weak, then what will happen is other people will overrule you. You can't continue with your model anymore. So that's why that endeavor to raise people spiritually so that they don't harm the common citizens. That is why that is very necessary. Otherwise, this model can't sustain for the whole country. Not possible. So we need technology otherwise. And how to become dhira or sober person? Means one who is not disturbed by material illusion. One has to hear from a dhira. So that is a Prabhupada writing. So he is writing not just hearing, submissive hearing. Submissive hearing means I want to learn. So then one can become a dhira. So this Vidya and Avidya spoken by Prabhupada. Now what we will do? We will enter into purports by different acharyas. So Madhvacharya. So as we discussed last time also, his definition of Vidya is correct knowledge is called Vidya. Correct knowledge of Vishnu is called Vidya. And when he says Avidya means correcting wrong knowledge is called Avidya. That is his definition of Vidya Vidya. That means don't just practice, preach also. So one who has done that, so those who are wise people say that by correcting knowledge there is one result, and by understanding, having correct knowledge there is another result. So different results are there, they are not same. Vedanta says, so his definition of Vidya Avidya is actually the definition of Vedas. Because this ISOPANISAD is meant for Gyan Marg. It's Gyan Yoga. So according to Gyan Yoga, Avidya is Varnashram Dharma. And Vidya is cultivating knowledge that I am not body, I am soul. So karma and Gyan. So Avidya deals karma has a relationship with Avidya, and Gyan has a relationship with Vidya. That is a definition of Vedanta. So he says that both of them have a different result. They don't have same result. And what he says in the purport is, karma and Gyan have to be practiced together in order to achieve Paramatma. That is, follow Varnashram system at the same time cultivate the knowledge that I am not body, I am soul. Same thing, Baldev Vidyabhushan says that Gyan has different result, karma has different result. According to him, if you practice only karma, you attain Patriloka. If you attain only Gyan, then you get Devloka. So that's why one has to combine both of them if one wants to transcend both of them and go to get Brahman. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that knowledge of Paramatma is different from both Vidya and Avidya. So, because that is called Paravidya. Knowledge of soul and Paramatma is called Paravidya. Sorry, knowledge of Paramatma is called Paravidya. Knowledge of I am matter is called Vidya. Knowledge of I am not matter is called, knowledge of I am matter is called Avidya. Knowledge of I am not matter is called Vidya. And knowledge of Supreme Lord, Paramatma, is called Paravidya. So what he says is that Paramatma controls Maya and Maya controls Jiva. And when Jiva is controlled by Maya, he laments being covered by Avidya. And that is how he suffers in this world, identifying that I am this body. But if same Jiva takes shelter of Vidya, he gets relief from suffering. But if he takes shelter of Vidya alone, then he gets a greater suffering because he has to contemplate on impersonal Brahman, which doesn't have form also. Klesho adhikara srestesam avyakta asakta chetasam. And that's why Vedas say that one should search for Atma, which is different from Vidya and Avidya. That means Atma is free from three modes of material nature. Avidya means mode of passion and ignorance. Vidya means mode of goodness. So that's Bhakti Thakur. So the 10th, all these verses are related, 10 to 14. So we'll go to 11th now. You can repeat after me. Vedyam cha vidyam cha yas.
Vedanchaya Vidyayam.
Okay. These points are remaining actually. I forgot. 10th, you can read other points also.
Hare Krishna.
Human life is the best opportunity for the culture of spiritual knowledge. And a human being who does not take advantage of this opportunity is called an Aradhama, the lowest of human beings. Enamored with the beauty of illusory energy, they undergo the same miseries repeatedly and do not learn any lessons from the laws of nature. Unrestricted sense enjoyment in this bodily condition is the path of ignorance and death. The activities of the material senses are perverted reflections of the activities of the original spiritual senses. Analogy: perverted sense enjoyment is similar to high fever.
Yeah. So Prabhupada talks about, these are things about Avidya, which Prabhupada talks about here. So sense enjoyment is not prohibited, it should be regulated as per scriptures. But when there is unrestricted sense enjoyment, that leads to the path of ignorance and finally death. And he compares perverted sense enjoyment to be high fever. It is like Prabhupada speaks about his pastime. Yeah. So he tells that once what happened is, one doctor came to saw mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, which both of them had a fever. Doctor saw daughter-in-law and he said she has 101. And then he saw mother-in-law, she says, oh, you are only 99. So then mother-in-law became very angry. She said that, how can she have more fever than me? I am senior, no? So I should have more fever and she should have less fever. And she started fighting with the doctor. Doctor said, what to do? Oh, I am speaking whatever there in the thermometer. So she was not able to understand that fever is not something which is pleasurable. Fever is something which is miserable. So similarly, unrestricted sense enjoyment doesn't give pleasure, it restricts a person. Like those, especially people who are very spoiled children nowadays, we'll see, generally children of the wealthy people who are not religious. So first thing they do is they eat anything they want. That doesn't satisfy them. Then they think, okay, let us have as much amount of sex enjoyment as much as we want. So the unrestricted sex enjoyment is there. And when they are not satisfied with that also, then they start taking to drugs, intoxication. But while trying to access such an independence, they don't understand that they are actually becoming more miserable. They are becoming bound. So they are not free, they are more bound. So very few people understand actually this is like a fever. It is dangerous. So it is not like you can say you're free, one becomes bound. Whereas when in Krishna consciousness, we have don't eat this, don't do this, don't do that. But actually after some time when we have our mind and sense are trained, we become more free. We are more free that we are not captured by all these sense objects. We are not bound by all these sense objects. So that's exactly what Prabhupada explains here. Okay, now we'll go to 11th. Sorry.
So in the previous slide, it is mentioned that unrestricted sense enjoyment is a bodily condition, path of ignorance and death. So that means as it is also giving that restricted sense enjoyment is allowed.
That is allowed. See, we all do sense enjoyment to some degree. Like, don't we take prasad? Don't we go out for yatra?
Yeah.
So that is also sense enjoyment only.
Hmm.
See, that's why sometimes now devotees say, no enjoyment, no enjoyment. It's not that's not our path. Our path is that we don't worry about enjoyment or not enjoyment. What we worry about is Krishna's pleasure. But when you please Krishna, we do get higher enjoyment automatically. So it is not that devotees don't do sense enjoyment. Devotees also do sense enjoyment. But they do the sense enjoyment which is in line with devotional enjoyment. Like, it is not that no, in the spiritual world, nobody does any enjoyment. It's like they're so miserable. All the time they're serving Krishna only. No, they have so much of enjoyment. They have so many festivals. They eat so many varieties of items. So there is a lot of enjoyment. But that enjoyment is in line with Krishna's, you can say, arrangement to enjoy. So when we cooperate with Krishna in his enjoyment, we also actually enjoy. So that is how. Okay. So now we'll go to mantra number 11. Vidyam cha yas.
Vedyam cha yas.
Tadvedo bhayam saha.
Tadvedo bhayam saha.
Avidya mrityum tirtva.
Avidyaya mrityum tirtva.
Vidyamritam asnute.
Vidyamritam asnute.
Please read translation.
Only one who can learn the process of nescience and that of transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. Hare Krishna.
So one should know both benefits of Vidya and harms of avidya. So then one can surpass everything and enjoy the immortal nectar of spiritual life. So we should know how to deal with this world, engage that in Krishna service, and we should also know how to focus on the spiritual world. So when both the things are there, only then we can live. Because till the body is there, we just can't escape the body. Like many of you may be having experience, and even I have experienced that it happens many times for certain devotees, and maybe it happened with us also, that at certain point of time, devotees, they think, I want to just practice spiritual life, and they neglect other things. And then automatically they have to come back. They have to come back to the balance. It's like either you spoil your health very badly, or spoil your relationship with devotees very badly, or spoil your career very badly. And after a long time, we realize that no, let us go with a balance. So that is why both Vidya and Avidya are necessary, as per Prabhupada definition. Because according to Prabhupada, Vidya means knowledge connecting to Krishna, Avidya means knowledge opposed to Krishna. So that is why both of the things have to be known. How to live in this world and how to leave this world. Both have to be known. So only then we can progress. Okay, you can read all the points and then we'll go through them.
Nobody can escape miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death. Example, Hiranyakasipu. In order to attain a permanent life, one must be prepared to go back to Godhead. The process which one goes back to Godhead is a different branch of knowledge, and it has to be learned from revealed Vedic scriptures such as the Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam. The miseries of this material world serves to indirectly remind us of our incompatibility with dead matter. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
So like Hiranyakasipu, he wanted to become like immortal by taking boons from Brahma, but even he couldn't defeat death. So when he was saying that I shouldn't die by this, I shouldn't die by that, actually he was designing his own death. So when he was saying I should not die in the sky or in the land, that means I should die in the lap of someone, which is neither sky nor land. I should not die in day and night. That means I should die during the dusk time. I should not die by living or dead. That means I should die by nails. Nails are neither living nor dead. So that is how nobody in this world can escape the four miseries. But at the same time, one has to prepare himself to go back into Godhead by doing proper sadhana. And how to do that sadhana is given in the Vedic scriptures. And when we get miseries in this world, how to deal with them? It should remind us that we are not meant to be in this place. So we have to do dutifully whatever is possible to escape miseries, but it should remind us that we are incompatible with this dead matter. So wherever we may be, we will always be miserable, whatever we may do. So that's explained here. Now I'll go to different Acharya's commentaries. Madhvacharya says that one who knows both, Vidya means correct knowledge, Avidya means false knowledge. So he can surpass the misery and ignorance by defeating Avidya. That means those who are against Vishnu, those who are against Krishna, to defeat them, by that we become free from misery and ignorance. Because matter is filled with, or Avidya is filled with temporary nature, it is temporary, Asat, it is Achit, filled with ignorance, and Niranan means it is filled with misery. So it is filled with misery. So in this way, because it is filled with all these three things, by defeating Avidya, one gets rid of them. And by practicing Vidya, one gets Satchidanand, eternal life, knowledge and bliss. So that is exactly what Madhvacharya explains. And then Vedantista, he explains. So he says that Varnasam Dharma, that is Avidya, and cultivation of knowledge that I am not body, I am soul, should be practiced together. So one should practice, what is that balance according to him? Vidya means worshipping Paramatma, that is primary. And Avidya means one should practice one's Varnasam Dharma, which is secondary, which is assistant. So by this combination, Ubhayam Saha, one can get Paramatma ultimately. So that means Varnasanam is not the focus. Varnasanam is supportive element. Varnasanam supportive element. Like for example, do we eat to cook or we cook to eat? Do we eat to cook or we cook to eat?
We cook to eat.
Yeah, we cook
to
to eat.
eat, Prabhu.
Yeah. So what is primary, eating or cooking?
Eating.
Eating.
Yeah, eating is cooking. So eating is primary and cooking is secondary. Now for devotees, like serving Krishna is primary and cooking is secondary. You can say in that sense. So in this way, both are required, primary and secondary, but one should know what is primary and what is secondary. How does it help is, it helps because during the time of decision making, it helps. Generally, we do things together. But now let us say you are getting old, and then you want to select a place where I can stay, or I can get my children educated, etc. So if we know this primary and secondary, then it becomes very easy to make decisions. That means I should select a place where I can practice my Krishna consciousness. At the same time, I can take care of my wife, children, their education, prasadam, earning, everything. So then secondary and primary has to be very clear. So by practicing Varnasam Dharma properly, one gets freedom from birth and death. Because one comes to mode of goodness by practicing Varnasam Dharma properly. So that is the obstacle to realization, that goes away. And by contemplating Paramatma, one attains Paramatma. So both the things have to be there. See, actually speaking, many times devotees think Varnasam Dharma means just leading a family life. That is not Varnasam Dharma. Because you have to anyway lead a family life, or anyway a brahmachari has to stay in the ashram of Guru. If one follows those rules of the place, it becomes easier to stay there. As simple as that. And for a brahmachari, one prime thing is to follow the instruction of the authorities. One who doesn't follow, they become very miserable. So whether you like it or you don't like it, you do it. If you don't do it, you will become more miserable. It's like staying with a person whom you don't want to follow. It's like become very big hostility. Or you rebel against him. How can you stay? Similarly, for a grasta, if he follows the proper rules of behaving with wife, children, earning, taking care, then what happens if one becomes free from that anxiety? One can do things properly. One will not be unnecessarily miserable while performing one's duties. One will have misery, but that is like minimum misery. So minimum misery will be minimized. And one can also come to mode of goodness. Like I'll give only simple example. Like generally fighting. Fighting is supposed to be in mode of passion or mode of goodness. Passion, right? So no doubt about it. But one can generate one chakras and realize I am not body, I am soul, if one follows traditional method of fighting. So I was surprised when I went to like Kerala and I saw this Kalari. There is Kalari there. So that they were showing that how no one can generate one's chakra just by fighting. Because this science was taught by Lord Shiva to Parasuram. So in this way, Vedic methods are made in such a way that while taking care of family, job, etc., one can even rise from mode of passion and ignorance to mode of goodness. And then while contemplating Paramatma, one gets Paramatma. This example of Janak Maharaj given, he gives an example of Janak Maharaj. This is from Vishnu Puran. Iyatsu api subahun yagyan jnana vipasraya brahma vidyam adhisthaya tartum mrityum avidya. Devoid of knowledge of Brahman, Janak performed many sacrifices in order to cross over obstacles by avidya. So he was doing his, because it is the dharma of king to perform Vedic sacrifice for so that the citizens can be happy. And in this way, in order to fix himself in the knowledge of Brahman. So he did his responsibility very properly so that he can fix himself in Brahman. So that is why by performing one's responsibilities very properly as per scriptures, one becomes established in Brahman. One comes to mode of goodness. Baldev Vidyabhushan has almost similar commentary. He says, when one practices Jnana and Karma nicely, by karma one gets rid of, by karma is here karma yoga. By performing karma yoga, one gets rid of impurity, and by practice of Jnana, one gets liberation. So both things happen. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that one overcomes death by avidya and one enjoys immortality by Vidya, almost same thing. So almost same thing is there. So he speaks very powerful thing. I'll just read it as it is. This is an instruction for devotees. Devotees can hear it very carefully. By seeing ideal spiritual counterpart with their objects and variety, material avidya becomes transformed into the ideal counterpart, spiritual qualities and form. Then the jiva, with a clear realization of his own spiritual form, the form of Paramatma and the spiritual relationship, can experience spiritual rasa. So what he is speaking is that one should know pastimes which Krishna performs in the spiritual world. Different varieties there. And then what one can do is, one can identify in his own life and transform them things accordingly. For example, like food is material. We offer to Krishna and it becomes prasad. Similarly, if we see in the, like Grasta generally are supposed to perform various sanskaras. But if we see Vaishnava sanskaras, all Vaishnava sanskaras are connecting with Goloka. So we do a Vaishnava home. In that we call all the acharyas, we call all the gopas, all the gopis, Radha and Krishna. So we call practically entire Goloka. And then we seek their blessings so that we can go ahead in whatever we are doing. That's Vaishnava sanskaras. So that transformed. Similarly, we have altar in the home and we worship the deities. So cleaning becomes cleaning in the temple, it is not no more cleaning in the house. Earning is collecting funds for the deities. It's no more like now earning money. So one has to make that endeavor to change or transform avidya into vidya by understanding varieties in the spiritual world and seeing how material world is a perverted reflection of that and then transforming it. See, many times devotees say it is not possible because they don't understand this variety in the spiritual world. How all these things are happening in the spiritual world also. In spiritual world also people are like taking care of the babies, doing the different ways of earning money. There are different means of earning money in the spiritual world also. In the spiritual world, they also have like different rituals, different relationships. So by learning that variety, one has to see that material variety is reflection of that variety and transform it, transform everything. So then what happens is then it is as good as staying in the spiritual world only. So that's why this world, dealing with this world is called avidya. About that world is called vidya. And we have to transform avidya into vidya. So that's Bhakti Thakur. So very beautiful and purported that. Now we'll go to mantra number 12. Andam tama pravesyanti. Somebody can repeat.
Andham tama pranasyanti.
Ye asambhutim upasate.
Ye sambhutim upasate.
Tato bhuya evate tamo.
Tato bhuya ivete tamo.
Ya u sambhute amrata.
Ya u sambhutya yamratah.
Please read.
Those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more so do the worshippers of the impersonal absolute. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So how Prabhupada had translated this particular verse is that he says asambhuti. Asambhuti he translates as demigods. And sambhuti means by which everything has become sambhav, possible. That is absolute truth. So then what he says is, those who worship only demigods enter in darkest region of ignorance. because they remain in this material world basically. And those who worship only impersonal Brahman, they go into more darkness because they don't understand the spiritual variety. So now you can just read the points in this slide and I'll explain them.
Sambhuti is the absolute personality of Godhead, who is absolutely independent of everything. Independent and dependent enjoyers. Demigods can't fully understand the Lord due to their limited powers. Api Arvad. Opposite of the absolute truth, Vaishnav and Mayavad understanding. Demigods consider Lord as powerful demigod and pure devotees as cause of all causes. Results obtained from demigods are temporary. Lord is present everywhere, example sun. Prabhupada points at incomplete understanding of impersonalists. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Sambhuti is absolute personality of Godhead. So difference between Lord and us is that Lord is independent enjoyers. He doesn't depend on anyone for his enjoyment. But we depend on Krishna for our enjoyment. If Krishna doesn't give different ingredients, we can't enjoy food. He doesn't give grains, fruits, milk. We can't enjoy food. So we are dependent on Krishna. Whereas Krishna is independent. That's why even demigods can't fully understand Krishna, because demigods come from Brahma, Brahma comes from Vishnu, and Vishnu comes from Krishna. How much can demigod understand Krishna? As much as Krishna wants to explain himself, that much demigods can understand Krishna. Api arvag vrityasya mahitvatma adaya yatha mati grananti sma kritanugraha vigraham. So this verse says that, my dear Lord, we demigods can understand you as much as you want to reveal yourself to us. So Lord is called, or that supreme truth is called absolute truth. What is opposite of absolute truth? Somebody can tell the opposite of absolute truth.
They are not absolute truth.
Hmm?
The absolute truth is they are not absolute. Relative.
Absolute false, bro.
Absolute false. So that means this whole world is absolute false.
That is Mayavada philosophy, bro.
That is Mayavad philosophy, absolute false. What is Vaishnava philosophy? What is opposite absolute truth?
Vaishnava philosophy.
This world is
World
temporary.
is not.
World is temporary, and Krishna's Goloka is permanent, and we have to go there.
I'm just asking from this word only. These two words you explain in such a way that now we can understand Vaishnava philosophy by that.
Absolute truth.
Opposite of absolute truth.
As mentioned before, a relative truth, Prabhu.
Yeah, relative truth, yes. See, many voices were coming, I couldn't hear. So relative truth. So for devotee, this world is relative truth. That means if I say, I am happy, then the question comes, how much happy? Are you happier than yesterday or day before yesterday? And then as compared to this person, are you happy or not happy? So this world is relative. So that's what it's called relative truth. So you say someone, no, he is very fair-skinned. But fair-skinned compared to whom? Fair-skinned compared to a buffalo or fair-skinned compared to a cow? So both have a difference. So in this way, this world is a relative truth, whereas the spiritual world is absolute truth. And according to Mayavadi, this world is Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Everything is false here. So everything is not false. Everything is relative truth. Because we do experience. That's why this Mayavad philosophy, many times it doesn't appeal. Like once Shankaracharya was preaching this Mayavad philosophy in Varanasi. And if you go to Varanasi, not now, it's like now we have this big corridor is there, made by PM Modi and Adityanath. But earlier, if you go still in the interiors of Varanasi, there are very small lanes, very, very small, thin lanes are there. Only maybe 1 or 2 people can go at a time. So Shankaracharya was going for taking bath in Ganga. From the other side, one elephant was coming. So Shankaracharya thought, if I move forward, this fellow with no elephant will pulverize me. No spaces there in between. So Shankaracharya started running away away from the elephant. So one of the Brahmanas who were defeated by Shankaracharya on the previous day started telling to Shankaracharya, Sankaram kim palayanti. It's like, no, why is Shankara running away? I'm not very good in Sanskrit. This was something like that. Tell me, why is Shankara running away? Kunjarapi mithya. This elephant is also false only. Mithya, it is not true. You only said yesterday, Brahm Satyam Jagat Mithya. So this Kunjar is also Mithya. So Shankaracharya continued running and he said, Palayanapi Mithya. My running away is also Mithya. That is also false. And he continued running. So the point is, when it comes to practical application, they also treat this world as a truth only, not as false. So that is not practical. So we do have experience. We do have experience of this world. We do experience miseries. So then how can you say it is false? So the point is, this world is truth, but relative truth. That world is absolute truth. Now demigods also have no Lord Vishnu, but they are not like, they don't worship Vishnu like us. Even Lord Narayan sometimes comes in front of demigods and they don't ask for going to Vaikuntha. But they consider Lord Vishnu as some powerful demigod. But pure devotees understand Krishna is cause of all causes. He is everything. Not that no, he is such a powerful person who will just sanction my sense objects, but he is goal of life. So the difference between demigod's understanding of Vishnu and devotees' understanding of Vishnu. Yes, Sitaram.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So here, if demigods think that Lord is also one more powerful demigod, so do they think that there is one more absolute truth or one more supreme, or just they are thinking that it's only up to the demigod?
It's like, actually speaking, all different demigods have different level of understanding. Some may be Brahmavadis also, some may be, some of the demigods may be devotees also. Like we know Suryadev, Sunny, they all are like pure devotees. But then many of the demigods are also, they consider that they're so absorbed in sense gratification that they see that if we get favor of Vishnu, we will get our sense objects. So they don't think anything beyond that.
Similar to us, like some people as will be devotees, some people think for gratification and like that.
It's like, many people, they visit ISKCON temples not to see that Krishna is there and he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because we go to ISKCON temple, so many people are getting desires fulfilled, we will also get our desires fulfilled. Like you see, sometimes kids go there and just before exams, they are so serious, they pray so seriously, but only before exams. Or the results are going to come. But after results come out, no more seeing Lord. So they see it like that, more of a sanctioner of their sense objects. So that is about demigods. Now results obtained from demigods are temporary. They are not permanent. So Lord is present everywhere, like the sun is present everywhere. That is how Lord is all pervading. Like a Prabhupada's son was trying to Prabhupada, why is this sun traveling with us? We were in Bada Bazaar, he was in Bada Bazaar. We went to Greece Park, he came with us to Greece Park. He is traveling wherever we are traveling. So Prabhupada says, if sun can travel everywhere with you, why can't Paramatma travel everywhere with you? So the Lord is one, but he expands everywhere. And then Prabhupada said that impersonations are not wrong, they are incomplete. So they don't know that, Lord has it's like he's a person, but they are just absorbed in his effulgence. They don't know that beyond the effulgence, there is a personality of the Supreme Lord. They don't understand that. Yes, Kalanath Krishnapur.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Can you able to hear?
I'm able to hear, yes.
Yes, yes. Prabhu, my question is not relating to this, but this is Shankaracharya philosophy. So this Orissa. So now, right now, I'm in Orissa side. So this side also, so many Vaishnava temples. There are so many like Mayavadi philosophers. They are preaching to Bhagavad Gita. So just reciting, we are reciting just Bhagavad Gita slokas. That's it. We don't know what is the meaning of that. So like that they will telling. So how can we understand? And in some temples, there are doing archakatva also. Like that too. So can we understand?
See, these are actually what happened is there difference between philosophy and a culture. So like even in Puri, they follow Shankaracharya, right? Puri temple. So, and that was the reason is because Shankaracharya had a strong influence in whole of India at a point of time. So that tradition is going on and the tradition is continuing. And the Lord also doesn't want to accept or destroy the tradition. Like Ramanujacharya came to change it. And then Ramanujacharya was kicked to Kurmakshetra by Jagannath. I won't say kicked, it's like Lord took him to Kurmakshetra overnight. Similarly, Pundrik Vidyanidhi, he was saying why they are giving stars close to Jagannath, and no, he was slapped by Jagannath in that dream. That pastime also comes in Chetan Bhagavat. So these things, so there's a difference between culture and devotion. So culturally, they may be following, but we have to see what is their philosophy. So if they have Vaishnava philosophy, then it's okay. If it is not there, what can we do? Ultimately, we have to preach. So even Mahaprabhu came and he preached to Sarvam Bhattacharya and turned him into a devotee. So before that, was Sarvam Bhattacharya was like a Mayavadi and he was in charge of Puri temple. Okay. So main thing is devotion to Jagannath. Main thing is not like culture. Culture is okay. Okay. So now we'll read from other acharyas. Because we'll find in Puri also, there are many devotees, they may be following culture of Shankaracharya, but they have a lot of devotion. A person, many pandas, it's like, they will take darshan of Jagannath 100 times a day. They don't want to just move away from Jagannath. So they have a lot of devotion.
In some temples, they are eating like a, good like a pan something. They are eating like that only. They are worshipping. They are giving like a harti like this. And I saw and wondered. So this culture is here like that.
See, that's why it's like it's more of Lord and them, and it's like we don't worry so much. We have to follow our acharyas. But when it comes to really speaking pan, things like pan, tea, etc., really speaking, they're not very serious. Because we don't eat pan because there is a intoxication in pan. But Lord personally takes pan in Golok Vrindavan. But why we don't take? Because we follow our acharyas. Our acharya has spoken not to take, we don't take. Simple. So we follow our acharyas.
Prabhuji, in Jagannath Mandir, in main Jagannath Puri, so the pandas are given this kya, that pan prasadam is given. That is, we can accept it or not.
We may take some small portion. Don't take supari. Don't take supari. Take some small portion of leaf.
Yeah.
Eat it, and that's all. And then we can distribute to other people who eat pan.
Yes.
That's like respecting the Mahaprasad also at the same time, not following, not breaking the principle which acharyas have given.
Yes.
So main thing which we don't take is supari. Supari we don't take. Supari has an intoxication. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Now this 12th. Yeah, Madhvachar. So Lord says, Madhvachar says, those who accept Lord as destroyer of misery and ignorance, but not accept Lord as creator of good qualities, enter in deep darkness. So who are these people who accept that Lord is destroyer of misery and ignorance, but not of good qualities? Who are they? Okay.
Repeat the question, Prabhu. Please, Prabhu.
Who are the people who accept Lord as destroyer of misery in this world, destroyer of ignorance in this world, but don't accept that Lord is the one who creates good qualities and he is like he gives spiritual bliss? Who are they?
Materialistic, Prabhu.
Okay, to some degree you can say. But exactly there are some people who want to get rid of ignorance also. Materialists don't want to get rid of ignorance.
Atheist.
How atheist? They don't even accept Lord only, na?
Correct.
He's talking about Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis want to get rid of miseries of this world. They want to get rid of the ignorance of this world. But they don't know that Lord also gives spiritual bliss, which is available in the spiritual world. And Lord also gives spiritual qualities, which are the qualities of a soul. So these people, they enter in darkness because they don't understand and that there is something beyond Brahman. There is a form also. There is pastimes and relationship with the Lord also. But then he says, those who worship Lord only as creator of bliss and knowledge in the spiritual world, but not accept the Lord as destroyer of bad qualities, enter in even deeper darkness. Who are they? They celebrate spiritual variety, but don't talk about destroying the sins of this world. They are Sahajiyas. So Sahajiya, they say Radhe Radhe, this, that, but they continue smoking bidi and having illicit sex. So they say they don't worry about getting rid of the entanglements of this world. So Madhvacharya said they enter in more in deeper darkness. So that's why one has to do both. One has to understand that Lord is one who destroys the miseries of this world. That means he's creator of, he destroyer of ignorance and misery. By that one understands one is free, by that one becomes free from ignorance and misery. That means I pray to Lord, please make me free from Maya. Let me get rid of Maya. So that by that one will get rid of Maya. And then one who understands Lord as creator of good qualities, therefore the devotees say, my dear Lord, please engage me in your service. So by praying, please free me from Maya, one becomes free from Maya. By saying, engage me in your service, one gets joy and knowledge, which comes from service. So in this way, one who knows that, at the same time one understands that Lord Vishnu is the highest, he is full of good qualities, he has no defects, he attains liberation. Such a person actually gets liberation from the material world. So that's by Madhvacharya. Now Vedantesika, what he says, according to him, Sambhuti, the word Sambhuti used in the verse is attaining the Lord, and Asambhuti means destruction of the obstacles for attaining the Lord. So that's the meaning of Sambhuti, Asambhuti. So in this way, for
మాకు L3 కూడా ఉంది. L3 వచ్చి అర్జున్ దేవాప్తుంది. అది చాలా బాగుంటది. అటు పూజ చేస్తే నేర్చుకుని చాలా బాగుంది రైట్ కూడా. వాళ్ళేమో ఈ ఫౌండేషన్ తిన్నారు మీరు.
Hare Krishna.
ఫౌండేషన్ కిందకి వేసిస్తారని చెప్తున్నారు మమ్మల్ని.
Who's this is open? Okay. Very good. So in this way, so such people, what they understand? They understand love, like what is Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan for devotees? Somebody can tell. Sambandha Gyan, Abhidheya Gyan, Prayojan Gyan for devotees.
Sambandha is we know the relationship with Lord. Like
What is? Okay. Abhidheya, what is Abhidheya?
Abhideya is we are practicing devotion, so establishing the relationship.
Establishing relation. And what is Prayojan?
Prayojan is Krishna Prem.
Krishna Prem, yes. Right. Now for those who are not worshipper of Lord like us, Sambandh is, which is mentioned in this verse, the Lord is supreme entity worthy of worship. That he is worshipable and I am worshipper. There is no question of relationship as such. So that Brahman is supreme and he is worshipable. So Lord is worshipable. That is Sambandh. For them, Abhideya is that Paramatma, worship of Paramatma is primary and Varnasam Dharma is secondary. That is Abhideya for them. And Prayojan from them is realization of that Brahman or the Supreme Lord. So this Sambandh Abhideya Prayojan for them, unlike devotees.
Project, tell me the project.
Huh?
Hare Krishna, once more, tell me again. This
You
is
can-
Sambandha.
We can't hear you properly. You have to speak loudly. Speak loudly.
Can you tell me once more, bro?
Okay.
And I may not understand.
Okay. So for them, Sambandh is like for us, we understand I am part and parcel of Krishna. Brahmavadi don't understand that. What they understand, their Sambandh with Lord is worshipable and I am worshipper. That's all. Puja karni hai Bhagwan ki. They know I want to worship Lord. But they don't understand I am part and parcel of Lord. They don't understand that. Similarly, for them, Abhideya is I have to worship Paramatma, and at the same time, that is primary, and secondary is I want to do Varnasam Dharma. That is secondary. And what is their Prayojan? Attaining that Lord is Prayojan. Now that Lord may be Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan, whatever. Makes sense? Like for devotees, realizing that relationship with Krishna and developing that love for Lord is very important. That is not there for Brahmanis. Okay.
Yes, bro, clear.
Okay. Now, Baldev Vidyabhushan, his definition of Sambhuti, Asambhuti. Sambhuti means Sambhav means that has birth. That means this world. Asambhuti means cause of this world. And generally for Vedic worshippers, it is Pradhan. From Pradhan, Mahatattva comes from Mahatattva, 24 elements come. And from 24 elements, this world is made. So according to him, those who worship Pradhan, they attain material realm, that is Andantama. And those who worship this manifest world, means Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varun, etc., those who are in this world, they go even in deeper darkness. So that definition of Baldev Vidabhushan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he translates Asambhuti is, means losing Vibhuti, losing qualities. That means merging into Brahman. So by merging in Brahman, Jiva's consciousness of its existence that I am a separate entity is lost. That I am separate from Brahman, that is lost. He thinks that I am one with Brahman. That's why he enters in darkness. But those who worship Sambhuti, that means they worship these material qualities, material existence. They are even further away from the realization of Krishna. That's why they are in greater darkness. That's Bhaktivinoda Thakur's definitions. Okay. So that's our acharyas. Now we'll go to mantra number 30. Anyat evahu sambhavat.
Ahusambhava.
Anyat yeta sambhava.
Anyat ahu asambhavat.
Anyat ahu asambhava.
Rahu Sambhava.
Iti susrum dhiranam.
Iti
Sustrum
susrumadhiranam.
tiranam.
Yena sad vichachakre.
Yenas tad
Enastat vichachatre.
Please read translation.
It is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes, and that another is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. All this was heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it. Hare.
Yeah. So in this verse, Prabhupada explains very clearly that a difference in worshipping absolute truth and worshipping demigods. Not everything is same. Not Kali and Krishna are same. So these people say yato mat tato pat. Whatever you want now you follow. Ultimately you will get the same result. Or all paths lead to same goal. But it's like sitting in Kolkata and you want to go to Mumbai, or you're sitting in Bangalore and you want to come to Calcutta. And do you sit in any train? Sita Ram bro?
No problem.
No, bro. No.
Yeah. So then we see the train and then we sit in that train. So how can all paths lead to same goal? So when Krishna says, Mama Vartamanu Vartante Manusya Pata Sarasa, what he says is that all the people are following my rules and regulations. But they don't lead to same goal. It's like whether you sit in any train, you have to follow the Indian Railways rules. But that doesn't mean you sit in any train, ultimately you'll come from Bangalore to Calcutta only. If you sit in a train which takes you to Chennai, you'll go to Chennai only. But anywhere you go, you have to follow railway rules. So such people, they're misleading. That's what Prabhupada says. As Krishna says, absolute, he demands absolute surrender. Not no worship any demigod, you'll get same result. Kama says het jnana, their knowledge is stolen. So we already went through all these verses. Actually, I'll not go in more detail. You can just read the points from here. See, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Quotes from Atharva Veda, Shankaracharya, Varaha Puram, etc. Yesavai Bhagavan Sakshat.
So these are the different verses, the different quotes Prabhupada has given in the purport. And there is a quote from Bhagavatam, Esvais Bhagavan Sakshat Adi Narayana Purvan. So there, Bhishma Dev calls Krishna as Adi Narayana, Adi Narayana. So he speaks very clearly that is even the original Narayan. He is origin of Narayana also. So that's very clear. Yes, please continue.
Hear from undisturbed Acharya and get trained. Kirata Hunandra. Watering the root, Yata Taror Mula. Bhagavad Gita, hear from Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, hear about Krishna. Real service, teaching surrender to Krishna. Grace of the Lord coming to mode of goodness. Perfection of Sambhava, seeing Krishna in every step.
Yeah. So by following the undisturbed Acharya, one also becomes undisturbed Acharya. Kirat Unanda Pulinda Pulkasa Bir Summa Yavana Kasadya. Yannecha Papa Yada Pasarasara Sudhandi Tasme Pavisme Namas. One may be from any sinful caste, Kirat, Hoon, Andhra, Pulinda Pulkas, anything. But one follows Yad Apasaraya Sraya. One follows, takes shelter of one who has taken shelter of Krishna. What happens for him? Sudhyanti tasme. He becomes totally purified. So by proper training, one gets purified. If you water the root of the tree, automatically all the twigs, branches, etc. get nourishment. You already know about it. How to do that? Hear from Krishna, that is Bhagavad Gita. Hear about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam. So by reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. And if you want to serve others, we say, okay, what about others? Teach them also how to surrender to Krishna. So yourself surrender to Krishna, teach others how to surrender to Krishna. By that one will get Krishna's grace, that means one will come to mode of goodness. And the perfection will come when we'll see Krishna in every step of life. How Krishna is involved. So now what I'll do, I'll read from other acharyas, 13th. So Madhvacharya, he says that they say that by knowing the God as creator, one gets one result. By knowing the Lord as destroyer, one gets another result. They say what one should do, one should combine both Sambhuti and Sambhuti. That means by seeing the Lord, that is Vedanta also what seems the same thing. By seeing the Lord is a destroyer of obstacles. One gets one result by destroying, by seeing that Lord is given the person who gives bliss. He's creator of good qualities. One gets good qualities. So that means one should pray for both. My dear Lord, you are destroyer of bad qualities. Let me get rid of bad qualities. Let me get rid of ignorance. Let me get rid of misery in this world. At the same time, one should pray that, my dear Lord, please give me real bliss and real knowledge available in the spiritual world. One should do both. Baldevidya Bhushan, keeping the same definition in the previous verse, says, one gets one result by practicing Brahma, one gets another result by practicing Prakriti or worshipping Prakriti. This verse basically says is, practice Gyan and Karma together, not alone. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Atma is different from Sambhuti means matter and Asambhuti means realization of impersonal Brahman. Because we have an existence in the spiritual world, above material world and above Brahman also. That means we are separate from what appears in this world and we are free, separate from merging in Brahman. Because when we say we appear in this world, we have birth and death. When we talk about merging, it is like death, permanent death. Those who say that I am entering in Brahman, they are talking about permanent death. But Jiva neither has birth nor has death. So that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now I'll just go to this mantra number 14. So that's our last mantra today. And this section also. Sambhutim cha vinasam cha.
Sambhutim cha vinasam cha.
Yastat vedo bhayam saha.
Yastas vedo bhayam saha.
Vinasen mrityum tirtva.
Vinasena mrityum tirtva.
Sambhutaya amritam asnute.
Samyutamritam asnute.
Please read. Please read translation.
One should know perfectly the personality of the God is Shri Krishna and his transcendental name, quality, and past tense as well as a temporary relation. It takes temporary words. And one knows these surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it. And in the eternal kingdom is eternal life of bliss and knowledge.
So in this way, one should know Krishna along with name, form, qualities, pastime, everything. And one should also know about how this world is temporary, demigods are temporary, men, animals, everything, everybody is temporary. So by having both the knowledge, one can get rid of birth and death and go enter the kingdom of God. So both have to be known properly. You can just read the comments by Prabhupada. What are 6 transformations? Somebody can tell 6 transformations.
Birth, growing into adult, then giving reproduction, be there for some time, then reproduce, then getting old and death.
Yes, there are 6 transformations. But these 6 transformations are not done in the spiritual world. One should know both. So living entities are spiritual. They are Vishnu Shakti Paraprokta. They are beyond this. They are superior energy of Lord Vishnu. But they are ultimately energy of Vishnu. So there are different scales in this world. If you go to heaven, Indraloka, 1 day of Indraloka is equivalent to 1 day in 1 year in this world. If you go to Brahmaloka, 1 day of Brahmaloka is equivalent to 8.6 billion years in this world. But still, even till Brahmaloka, everything is temporary. So that Ekpad Vibhuti means 1/4 of creation and Tripad Vibhuti is 3/4 of creation. What is 1/4 of creation?
Material world, bro.
Yeah, yes. 3/4 of creation is
Spiritual world.
Spiritual world.
So if one practices karma, one goes to karma yoga, one goes to Swargaloka. One practices Gyan yoga or Ashtanga yoga, one goes to Maharloka, Taploka, Brahmaloka. But if one to enter in Vaikuntha Loka, one has to practice Bhakti only. Devotion service. Yeah. Please read all these other points also.
On the material planets, everyone from Brahma down to the ant is trying to lord it over material nature. And this is the material disease. As long as this material disease continues, the living entity has to undergo the process of bodily change. The Lord comes here to re-establish the principles of religion, and the basic principle is the development of an attitude of a surrender to Him. In this mantra, Sri ISOPANISAD teaches that one must perfectly know both Sambhuti, the personal of Godhead, and Vinasa, the temporary material manifestation, side by side. By knowing the material manifestation alone, one cannot be saved. For in the course of nature, there is a devastation at every moment. Ahani bhutani gachantiha yama layam. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So one should know both temporary nature of this world and eternal nature of the spiritual world. One should know that ahani bhutani gachanti layam. That every moment one is going closer to death. Every moment so many people are dying. So one should know that. So I'll just read from other acharyas. Okay, so what Prabhupada means when he says that one should know about both material world and personality of Godhead. So one famous example of one who knew only about Supreme Personality of Godhead, not about material nature, was Rishi Sringa. So his pastime comes in Ramayana. So Rishi Sringa had a father called Vibhandak. And Vibhandak was a very powerful sage. So he was doing tapasya, and then Indra became fearful as usual. Indra approached Brahma and said, please break his meditation, otherwise he'll occupy my post. So Brahma, he sent an Apsara from Brahmaloka. And this Apsara, she approached the sage by saying that, my dear sage, you are sadhu, you are supposed to fulfill all people's desire. I desire to get a son from you. Sage, what he did, without coming in contact with that Apsara, he just, it's like he gave his powers. And he said that you will become pregnant now. But she was not able to hold that power. So she transferred that power in one deer and ran away. And then after some time, Vibhandak saw that some child is crying. And when his meditation broke, he saw this Rishi Sringa, small child with 2 horns, like a deer. And deer also ran away. Then he became very angry. He said, these ladies in this world, they are the cause of all misery. So then he took the child and he took to his father's house. Not father's house, sorry, brother's house. And he started preaching brother, and brother started getting Vairagya. So why became very fearful that this fellow gets Vairagya, he'll also run away like Vibhandak only. He will go for tapasya. So when Vibhandak's brother was out, Vibhandak's this brother's wife, she drew away Vibhandak. And Vibhandak became more angry. She said, these ladies are the cause of all miseries. They are causing fights between both the brothers. So he told that I'll make such a forest where no lady can be there. So he created a forest where even insects were male only, no female. Mosquitoes means only male mosquitoes, male cockroaches. So only male, no female. And then, but after a few years, so the Rishi Sringa was growing and he became very pure soul. And after some time, what happened is, it was like near to Rompad Maharaj's kingdom, territory. Rompad Maharaj had Dasarath Maharaj's daughter as his adopted daughter called Santa. And Rompad Maharaj he would give a lot of charity, but once he gave one big diamond to Brahmana in charity. But before it could be handed over to Brahmana, he thought, what will Brahmana do of this big diamond? So he kept the diamond back. Brahmana understood and became very upset, but didn't speak anything. Because of that sin, there was drought on the kingdom for since long time, 3-4 years. So then he asked the astrologers what to do. Astrologer said, only solution is you have to bring Rishi Sringa here. Rishi Sringa is so pure, he will put feet in your kingdom, there will be rains. So, but he said that, but the problem is, if you enter there, Vibhandak comes to know, he will curse you to death. You can't enter there. No civilians allowed. And he will never allow his son to come out of that forest. So he made a plan, he sent some Rishi Kanyas there. So these are actually ladies dressed as Rishis. And because he never saw women in his life, so he saw Rishis, he invited them, he served them, he became attached to them, he started massaging their feet. He was getting some special pleasure, some special bliss from there. And then one time this Rishi said that we are going now, we will not come back. So he said that I can't live without service of Rishis. So he told, if you want to come with me, serve me, then you have to come along with me. So that is how he crossed one big lake. And he went to this kingdom of Rompad Maharaj. As soon as he kept the feet, rains came. Rompad Maharaj understood. But then he thought, if Vibhandak comes to know, he will give curse. Again, there will be maybe bigger thing than drought also. There may be earthquake. So what he did is, he married Santa along with Rishi Sringa. So Vibhanda was very angry when he came, but when he saw that Rishi Saranga is married to Santa, he forgot everything. He said, what to do now? So this pastime is spoken to show that because he had no experience of material world, he became caught up. So one should know both. So that's exactly what Prabhupada speaks. One should know temporary nature of this world and eternity of spiritual world. So I'll just quickly go through commentaries of other acharyas. Madhvacharya says, he knows Lord as creator, Sambhutim, and destroyer. By knowing that he is creator of good qualities, one gets bliss and knowledge. And by knowing the Lord is destroyer of bad qualities, one gets rid of bad qualities. Vedantiska, I'll just read whatever is not common. What is common, I am escaping. So what he says is, Vinas here means destruction of pride, pretense, etc., which are obstacles in getting samadhi. So in this way, combination of Sambhuti and Asambhuti, when they are practiced together, it leads to success. So what happens is, by meditating on Vinas, Vinas means unfavorable elements to getting Supreme Lord. One gets rid of birth and death. And by meditating on Supreme Lord Sambhuti, one gets Brahman. That's Amrita. Baldev Vidyabhushan also says similar thing. He says Vinasa means something very destructible, that is temporary Hiranyagarbha. Now I'll not go in detail of that. Okay, I'll not go into detail of that. It's like very tough. Nirvi, Samadhi and everything. I have to explain. But we'll just go to Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says Vinas or Asambhuti means destruction of metal bondage. And Sambhuti means variety of spiritual existence. That means one should know both. I have to surpass death by getting rid of this material world. At the same time, I have to celebrate the spiritual variety. In this way, I can go to spiritual world. So that's why this Atma has to do both. Living entity has to do both. Enjoy in spiritual variety and not meditate on the material variety, which is cause of misery. Then one can get spiritual world. So these are basically, this was the Abhidheya Gyan which is given, which we have discussed today, in which the essence is that one should practice Varnasana Dharma and Gyan together. For devotees, they should know that this temporary world is miserable and spiritual world is full of variety. That's for devotees. So that's the essence of all these verses. Okay, somebody had a hand raise. Seems question is answered.
The question was like when we were discussing like the number of years between the men staying in the material world and the Brahma. For example, it's 1:4.32 billion years.
I don't know. I'm not able to hear you properly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, bro. You are muted now.
I'll message Prabhu.
Okay, you message me. Okay, fine. So we'll end here. Somebody can just read the last slide.
There are 108 Upanishads. Sorry, Prabhuji, please go on. Please go
No
on,
problem. Okay. There are 108 Upanishads, out of which 9 are very important. Out of that 9, this ISOPANISAD stands first. Then Taittiriya Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad. So the Upanishad, Upa means nearing. So this knowledge will take you nearer to Krishna. Lecture on ISOPANISAD, Mantra 11, Los Angeles, May 16, 1970. Hare Krishna.
Gandharaj, not Gandharaj. Sri Upanishad ki.
Jai.
Sri Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande.
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.